Good morning, folks. Welcome to a brand new YouTube video, episode 7 of the Summer Shred. 7 videos, 7 weeks. Actually, I think it's 8 videos in it because there was a bonus one when I did that grocery haul because it was just so long. But yeah, either ways, here we are. I have had a fantastic week. I played my first game of football on Tuesday, and yeah, I've been trying to get back into football for a long time. I literally haven't played in years. I want to say at least 5 years. But the group of lads that I play paddle with, they actually invited me along to a game on Tuesday. Seemed happy with how I did, so they've invited me to join them on a more regular basis, which is amazing, especially given that the sun is starting to come out this year. So that's going to be a thing moving forwards. It will help me get my cardio up, and it'll force me to kind of like be a bit more intentional with my training as well. I know I usually start these vlogs nice and early, but the time is actually now 8:15 a.m. Well, a lot later than I usually would, but basically, you know, Friday night I have capoeira. My teacher is away, so I actually taught the class last night. So we finished around, I want to say about 9 p.m, and I went for a drink with one of the guys, and then by the time I got back, it was really late, so I just decided to have a lay-in. I did wake up around 7:15, but since then I've just kind of been chilling. I didn't really want to get up, and I've got no reason to since I didn't have to be at the gym early. So here we are, enjoying a nice lie-in with... Guess who's with us today? Mr. Bear. He's having a very slow morning as well. He's a tired boy. But first on the agenda today is to give him a nice walk. And then I have got a game of paddle at 12 midday today. That's going to be my activity. And of course, we are going to get up to date on my progress in the Summer Shred. And this week, I've already had my new lowest weigh-in. So who knows, today might be even lower. We'll see what it is. So without further ado, go ahead and leave the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into it. Today's weigh-in, 197 on the nose. That's another new low weigh-in. Here we go. Alright, let's go ahead and get this week's physique check done. So this is what I'm looking like. Oh, let me take these. See these Nike Calm slides? Absolutely amazing, love them. They add about like 2.5 inches onto your height, which, to be honest, I feel like I sorely need at the distinctly average height of around, well, just under 5'9". But we'll get rid of those for the purposes of this. This is what I'm looking like at 197 pounds, fully relaxed in the front. And from the side. Overhead to flex from the front. Oh, this dog. You getting into the physique check, mate? Planks is ball at my feet. But yeah, honestly, I am feeling really good at the minute. I've had a really good, positive week, and I'm looking forward to a month of a lot less travel, and therefore I'm hoping a month of much more progress than I've seen so far, because I mean, I'm going to be the first to admit that progress in the shred so far has been slow, way slower than I would like for it to have been. So I know I need to address that, and I feel like this week I've really gotten things back on track. But we're not done there. We need to make sure that we keep this up for at least minimum, you know, the next 6 weeks. We need to be proper flat out to make sure that we are where we need to be. And with the physique check done, let's take this little boy out for a walk. Ready? Catch? No, not the best at catching yet. Right, so that is the dog walked. The time is now 10:20. A nice near 5k steps boxed off. It is an absolutely beautiful day, so I'm really glad to be playing an hour and a half of paddle very soon. But first, we're gonna get this first meal boxed off, which is looking a little bit different because there's no gym. I didn't want to have too many calories before I go play paddle, so I'm keeping things nice and light. I've got a chicken wrap, which is 110 grams of cooked chicken, which I've thrown at about 15 grams of light mayo on there, 20 grams of half-fat shredded cheese, and then I've gone for, do you remember last week when I had Aldi specially selected raspberries? I've got specially selected strawberries today, but the issue is, obviously the specially selected stuff is a bit more expensive, but once you have it, you just can't go back to the other stuff. So I actually bought the raspberries again. I already demolished the pack yesterday. I've never actually tried the Aldi specially selected strawberries, but very much looking forward to them. So yeah, I'm gonna get this down me, and then I need to get the dog his breakfast, and then it's probably gonna be about time to just like chill for a little bit and go to paddle. So breakfast time, Here we go, and I'll let you know what the macros are after I've got this down me, because I'm starving. That was absolutely fantastic. And the strawberries, are they as good as the specially selected raspberries? Probably not, but they are still a big improvement on the normal Aldi strawberries. Had 110 grams of those as well. So where that leaves us, we've actually, that's a really nice light meal to start the day. It is 431 calories, 39 protein, 39 carb, and 12 fat, 6 grams of fibre as well, which I'm assuming will be from the strawberries. So time to get the little boy his breakfast, and then I'm just going to chill until it's time to go play paddle. Back from paddle, and it's safe to say my body is in need of a rest. I've done a lot of activity this week, so I definitely need to make sure I have a good rest day tomorrow. And you know, 90 minutes, like, I don't know if any of you have played paddle, but it's one of those sports where it's so like high paced and like energetic, and there's not really any breaks in play. So like, you know, I've already smashed my step target for today. What am I on now? I think I'm on like 14k steps. Yeah, 13.9k steps, and it's 2:30 in the afternoon. But that also means I'm absolutely starving, need a good feed in me. So I dug out. This was in the freezer, like I always like prep my lunches, as you know, and that was in the freezer. It's been there a while. That's a honey barbecue beef fried rice with mixed vegetables. Also got myself a protein shake, Perform Whey, chocolate peanut butter flavour, with 5 grams creatine. I did have creatine, didn't I? I think I did. And also 100 grams of blueberries, because I just want some more volume and I want some more fruit, and because I love blueberries. So let me go ahead and get this down me, and then we'll talk about how it affects today's macros. Alright, I'm not gonna lie, I fell asleep quite soon after eating. I did plan to watch the Everton match playing Nottingham Forest, and I did catch like little bits of it, but I fell asleep for definitely most of the second half. And I woke up just in time to see us score a glorious last minute winner. Get in. It's always a better day, especially considering the start of the season we had, to see Everton actually doing okay at the moment. Touch wood, I don't want to jinx anything. But yeah, anyways, back to business. I was going to tell you about what the lunch was doing for my calories. So that lunch was 713 calories, so a decent amount. I can't actually tell you the breakdown because I have the basic MyFitnessPal. You can't see the macros per meal. So where that leaves us for the day, it's now 5:20, and I've ate 1,143 calories, which means I have 1,407 remaining. I've eaten 106 grams of protein, so I still need about 110 grams of that. I've eaten 130 in carbs, still got 142 grams of that. And I've eaten 31 grams of fat, so I've still got 40 grams of that. So I don't really know what I'm going to do for dinner. I need something that's super high protein. I'm going to take the dog for another walk, and then after that, I don't think I'm going to be hungry for dinner. I'll probably be quite late dinner, but yeah, when it's dinner time, we'll get to it. Well, ladies and gents, I'm not going to lie, I actually ended up eating my chicken skewers with rice and veg and just completely forgot about recording it. But to be honest, I'm not really that bothered about that, because chicken skewers with veg and rice tends to be my dinner, I'd say, at least 5 times a week. It is just such a good go-to meal because it always clocks in under 500 calories. Like today's was 494 calories. Super high in protein, because 2 of those chicken skewers that I do, you know, like 22 grams of protein each, if I remember correctly. It's about 100 grams of chicken per skewer. And then that's even with a big portion, or 100 gram portion of peas as well. Which actually, if you after a little way to bump up your protein, peas actually have a decent amount in them. But we do have a bit of an issue, because that leaves us today on 1,637 calories, meaning I have 913 still remaining. Still have 64 grams of protein to eat, 93 grams of carb to eat, and 33 grams of fat to eat, and it's 8:15 in the evening, and I anticipate being in bed within around an hour. This guilty boy, so he knows he's not allowed toys in the kitchen. Just bought one in, the cheeky bastard. But it's okay. It's, as you can imagine, it's quite tough to be angry at this face when he's just like looking up at you. Isn't it, mate? It's impossible to be angry at this dog. So I'm not gonna lie, the devil in me is telling me to kind of make something like, I don't know, I've still got a few like tortilla chips in the cupboard. I might actually do some cheesy nachos with half that cheese obviously, and then some like cooked chicken. Or I could do something even more macro friendly, just like a yogurt bowl, because I actually haven't had a yogurt bowl today, and I'm not gonna lie, I feel a bit weird not having a yogurt bowl. So actually, you know what, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna have a yogurt bowl, So if I just key that into my fitness pal now, because I've got it saved as a meal, that leaves us on 2014 calories with 536 remaining, 34 grams of protein left to eat, 31 grams of carb left to eat, and 31 grams of fat left to eat. I think I'm just going to decide we're going to do it later, because right now I just can't really think about food, but I'll catch up with these when I've got some food next. Actually, you know, before I go ahead and eat my next meal, I actually wanted to talk about something. So you might have noticed that this video has been quite similar to the last full day of eating one, and that was kind of the point of the video, because when you're on a cut, when you're in a calorie deficit, not even necessarily when you're calorie deficit, even if you are trying to like bulk up or like maintain or whatever, I think it's important to have some regularity within your meals. I think it's important to this dog is only be alone. I think it's important to have meals that you know you can just like fall back on, and you know what they are roughly macro wise, you know what they are roughly nutrient wise, you know they make you feel good, you know they energize you. I think it's really good to have meals like that and pretty much spam them. Like, it's good to have, like, I think eating to a pattern is important. Like for me, you know, I have roughly 5 meals a day, and I know pretty much off the top of my head what they're going to be, because I've just been eating this way for a long time. And I think it's useful, like if you struggle to, you know, reach your goals when it comes to health and fitness, especially when it comes to fat loss, like meal regularity is something that people do need to look at. And it's going to feel like you eat the same meals a lot, but you can just make small tweaks. For example, me with the yogurt balls, sometimes I'll change the fruit up, sometimes I'll change the flavour of the yogurt up, sometimes I'll change the flavour of the jam, sometimes I'll do honey instead of jam. The chicken skewers, I'll do different flavours, I'll do different veggies to have with the rice. My lunches are pretty much different every week, because I've just got a bank of recipes in the notes app on my phone where I know they're going to be roughly, you know, 400 to 700 calories per meal, so I know what they're getting me. And then snacks, you just kind of like fit around them. Regularity is important, and sometimes it might feel like you're being very repetitive with what you do, but that is the point. You know, I think a big part of a success in anything, what a lot of people don't realise, is that it is just performing the same thing day in, day out with relentless execution for like an uncommonly long period of time. But for some reason, everyone thinks that you need to change things up. If you don't see results in a week or whatever, if you don't see results in 2 weeks, they just want to change things up. They want to try the new shiny next method. And I'm just like, no, just stick to your plan. Literally just stick to your plan. You've all seen that my first month didn't really go to plan. It didn't really, you know, I should have done better in that first month. And I could have gone one of two ways. I could have either fallen off the wagon completely, threw my toys at the pram saying this isn't working, and just like gone back to what I was doing previously, go back to bulking calories because I was enjoying them anyways. Or I could have made wholesale changes like in pursuit of different results. But instead, I've just chosen to stick to my plan, and I'm just going to stick to it regardless of like what's happening. Because I know that if I stick to this for the long term, if I make sure I stick to this for an uncommonly long period of time, you know, I'm doing this for 18 weeks, which is a lot longer than what most people would do, I will get the results. I've proven that to myself previously. I've proven it to several people who I've coached. You know, I've got loads and loads of examples of progress that people have made under that same guidance. And I guess the take-home message from what I'm trying to say is just like, don't be afraid to do the same things. You can make small tweaks and everything, but don't be making wholesale changes too soon. As I say, a really big part of success is just doing the simple things day in, day out for an uncommonly long period of time without convincing yourself that there's something better out there. And you have to stick to them when they're inconvenient. You have to stick to them just like regardless of what happens. You have to have the tenacity to do that. Anyways, enough waffle. I'm going to chill for a little bit, and then I'll catch up with you when we've actually got some food. Okay guys, time has come, and I've made a bit of a beast. So basically what I've done is I've done me kind of like usual yogurt bowl, and I just did it in the actual yogurt bowl because I had half a portion left. And I've added 25 grams of oats, and instead of adding the jam, I've added like around 35 grams of Lyle's golden syrup, and then I mixed all that together. Then I topped it with 140 grams of blueberries because that's what I had left, and some dark chocolate. So there's plenty of calories in this, but we are still not quite there for the day. So to be honest, I think I'm just going to leave it there though. A little bit behind on everything except carb, but no, I'm okay with this. So 2,242 calories down the hatch today. So I'm going to go ahead and crush this and play some Gran Turismo 7 before I go to bed. Thank you so much for watching the video. Remember to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with this content. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.